he woke to the sound of a car door closing somewhere down the street. Not slamming, not rushed, just the same soft, hollow thud he always made at night. The clock on his bedside table glowed 2:43 a.m. For a moment he stayed still, listening. A dog barked once, then stopped. Wind moved through the trees in the same uneven rhythm he remembered. Even the refrigerator clicked on in the kitchen, right on cue. It all felt familiar in a way that made his chest tighten. He rolled over, annoyed with himself for noticing the time again. Insomnia had a way of turning details into patterns. Still, something about the quiet felt rehearsed, like a scene that had already played out. The next morning passed without incident. Work, errands, small talk. Nothing felt off until the following night, when sleep came easily and ended too abruptly. He woke to the same sound. A car door, a single bark, wind in the trees. 2:43 a.m. This time he sat up. The room looked exactly as it had the night before. The faint glow from the streetlight filtered through the blinds at the same angle, striping the wall. Even the digital clock blinked once, as if settling back into place. He waited for the minute to change. It didn't. At 2:59, the clock hesitated, then rolled back to 2:17. He stared at it, breath shallow, convinced he was still dreaming. When he lay back down, the house creaked softly, the way it always did when the temperature shifted. Eventually, sleep pulled him under again. The third night made it impossible to ignore. He woke before the sound this time, wide awake, waiting. Right on schedule, the car door closed. Somewhere nearby, a porch light flicked on, then off. The clock read 2:43. By morning, she mentioned it to a neighbor while collecting the mail. She laughed it off at first, but the smile faded when she interrupted him. "Does your clock reset too?" she asked. "Around 3?" By that evening, 3 houses on the block were talking quietly in driveways and on front steps. Different clocks, different rooms, same hour, 2:17 to 3:17 a.m., a stretch of time that refused to move forward. Phones showed the same thing, watches, ovens, car dashboards. Everything stalled, then slipped back, clean and precise. What unsettled them wasn't what stopped, it was what didn't. Lights stayed on, water ran, the streetlights hummed overhead. The world functioned normally, just sideways, like it was pacing instead of progressing. They started paying attention. Each night, tiny differences crept in. A lawn chair shifted closer to the curb. A window that had been closed was now cracked open. A coffee mug left in the sink appeared on the counter instead. No one could say when it had moved. Emotions changed too. Short tempers, sudden sadness with no clear source, a sense of being slightly out of step, like missing the last stare in the dark. One man decided to stay awake through the entire hour. He set alarms, drank coffee, sat in his living room with every light on. At 2:17, the air changed. Not colder, just heavier. The ticking clock on the wall sounded louder, each second dragging behind it. As 3:17 approached, the house seemed to resist. The lights dimmed slightly. The refrigerator went silent. Outside, the wind stopped completely. When the clock reset again, he felt it, not as a sound or a movement, but as pressure, like something pressing its palm against his chest, urging patience. The next morning, he didn't join the conversations. By the 5th night, they understood the hour wasn't repeating, it was waiting for something that hadn't happened yet. On the 6th night, the street stayed unusually dark. One house at the end of the block never turned its lights on. No porch light, no television glow, just a solid, lightless shape against the night. At 2:17, the silence deepened. At 2:43, the familiar sounds didn't come. No car door, no barking dog, no wind. The remaining residents stood at their windows watching the dark house. Its windows reflected nothing. It felt distant even though it was only a few steps away. When the clocks finally moved forward, the relief was immediate and disorienting. 3:18. Time resumed with a collective exhale. Morning arrived like it always did, but the house at the end of the street stayed dark. Its clocks never advanced, its windows never changed, and late at night when the rest of the neighborhood slept, some residents swore they could feel the hours still there, unfinished, holding its place, waiting for someone else to notice it again.